welcome back to another episode of Pretty Much Experts. I'm the host, Robert John. It's my first episode recording back in Canada for temporarity. Good word. And
yeah.
Mike in the dark over there, the dark van.
Yeah. Having some technical difficulties.
Little difficulties, and then there's Skyler in his furnished apartment.
Furnished apartment. Great. Fully furnished.
Full of internet. Just floating around everywhere.
Full of crisp internet and soft pillows.
A peek behind the scenes, Mike just bought a new car, and he tried to do the first ever car cast and could not get it to work.
Yeah.
That's why he is live via sound only, no video this week. The car's just not the best sound recording studio.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it than that, but the car thing definitely didn't pan out. Maybe next week. Yeah. Fuck it, it's my voice that counts, right? Sexiest part about me.
Yeah.
Sad because
very white over here.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
I love the sexy slither of a female snake. Oh, fuck. But yes, RJ's back on this side of the pond in Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, that's weird. Eh?
Well, not like Canada, Ontario, but Canada.
Yeah.
Canada, Ontario. Same
Not
thing.
the Ottawa suburbs.
Yeah, it's weird being back. I feel less interesting being Canadian amongst Canadians versus...
Oh, yeah, there's nothing to that.
No, last year I was like the blue goose. Everyone thought it was so cool.
Is that saying?
I just made it up. It sounds cool.
The blue goose, yeah. I've heard of the golden goose.
No, I'm not special. I'm just different.
Oh, okay, blue goose. Yeah.
The old blue goose.
Possibly handicapped.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be in Canada for like 6
withdrawal
weeks.
Right now?
What's that?
Having potato withdrawal right now?
Not a lot of spuds in my life these days now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna kick in any minute now.
Any minute now. I'll start getting the shakes.
Start shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dry heaves.
Going to your parents' freezer and sucking on frozen French fries.
Just looking for some tots, man.
Yeah.
Getting my fix.
Need my starch fix.
That's it.
I feel like starch is good for you. Maybe not though.
I don't know.
think
I feel like it burns really well. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I went to the gym like earlier this morning and had like a good sweat after just like partying all weekend, and it was smelling pretty horrible.
Oh, I bet.
There's a lot of wine getting out.
Sweating all that
Chuck
urine.
Going to the gym.
Yeah.
Every country he goes to. Yeah.
I got to get in baseball shape.
Which fucking gym are you going to in
Just the one up the street.
Yeah, I'm curious about this.
The one I used to go to. $25 a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, that's
It's not bad at all.
No.
It's affordable even for a blue goose.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you doing the, you get 1 month free, like Netflix, and you're just...
Peace. Any gym that does that, they make you pay, for the other 11 months up front. They just give you...
So it's not really free.
No. 1 month is free, but you got to pay the other, $700 up front. And then you don't have to pay anything the rest of the year. So you just paid for 11 out of 12 months.
Why don't you just take that $700 and buy, a Bowflex?
I find,
It's not going to fit in the backpack, for one.
It won't fit in the backpack.
Okay, maybe not RJ. I'm just meaning any gym. I just get the Bowflex.
Personally, I just find it really hard to stay, motivated to, work out at home. Some places I've been, there's, no gym option, and it's okay, I'll just, run, 2 times a week and do, push-ups or some bullshit in the morning.
Some burpees.
Yeah. But it would always be, do, 8 burpees, and you're fuck it, I'm done. As soon as you get tired, you're, done.
Exhausted.
Yeah, I'm done. Putting my other clothes back on. But, when I go to the gym, it's I made all the effort to get here, so I'll stay for at least an hour.
And I'm just going to be the one to say it. There's fucking babes at the gym, and it's encouraging.
Yep.
Like to go. You know, it's something. It's encouraging to go. It's pleasant. You know,
it's pleasant.
You communicate with some cute girls and.
Yep. There's lots of pros.
I guess people do that.
Yeah, it's a good place to
I guess
mingle.
you could stick on Pornhub and do some burpees, but it's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
You might burn the same amount of calories.
That is, comparable. Yeah.
Comparable. Like maybe you might have to sit an extra hour in front of the Pornhub to make up for the lack of calories burnt. But hey,
you're saving yourself $700.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that like I count calories or really watch my diet in any way, but once you become like a fairly like regular gym person, like every machine you go on, it like does like how many calories you burned, and when you see like how fucking hard it is to burn like 300 calories, it really makes you like consider that extra Oreo. I think an Oreo is like 90 or 110 calories or something like that, and to burn like 300 is like half an hour on a treadmill. So it's like yeah, I think I'll just stick to like 3 Oreos instead of like 7 or something I would do when I was in my youth. Just do a whole row at a time because I didn't care.
Eat a sleeve.
Yeah. Just down them all. But now it's like, I don't actually want to do an extra,
Just you're putting
in all this effort. You're putting this effort to like go, especially when you're in other countries, to go and find the gym and, be present, be active. It's like, if nothing else, you're just going to be considerate of what you're putting in your body. Maybe. Yeah. And if you tone it down, right on.
And for me, it's like the expectations of having like a rock hard summer bod, like that's never going to happen. But I do like that I feel
you're
no
at
guilt.
A better starting point than me. I'll tell you that
but
much.
It's like I just feel no guilt in like eating and drinking whatever I want because I know that
really.
It's not like a free pass, but it is like I'm not going into debt every week. It's like I'm breaking even. Like I'll make it to the gym.
Fuck you. How about this? You've only been fucking eating what you want and drinking what you want for like the last year.
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
How do you think I think when I look in the mirror? 16 years of whatever the fuck I want.
I think you think that $25 a week for the local gym doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah. No, it would just be lost on me. I remember the roommate wanted me to do the fucking like keto diet when that was like big.
It's still big,
And it was like, okay, like, what do I got to do? And, like, she ran down the list of things that I can't eat and can't drink. And then she's like, oh, yeah, and you're going to have to give up beer. And it was like, well, I tried. Yeah,
I tried. Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah, fuck. Not for me, I guess.
2-person conversation up until now. I tried.
Yeah. I don't know. I like drinking beer. I don't enjoy drinking hard alcohol, so all I got is the beer. If you take that away from me.
What about switching to Goonsack? That did me well over the weekend.
The wine too. I find the wine it's like the sugar in the wine and like in spirits and stuff. Like that's
why did you say that so
I don't
hyper feminine?
Why did you list that word?
Yeah. What are you insinuating, sir?
I'm just like it's the spirit. I don't know how do you say it?
Spirits. I don't go spirit.
Go spirit like that. Spirit.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I say it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Hey, what way?
It's weird if we're calling you out.
Yeah, but so beer, nothing. I play baseball in the summer, softball.
When are you gonna get your baseball legs started though? First game?
Going hot. Before we'll go out. We'll do some spring training.
Yep.
I'll get loose. I'll run around the field once.
Okay.
Have a beer. We all know how to play softball. But yeah, no. Honestly, that's just my thing. It's like if I have to give up beer, it's just like not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, because that's not exercise now. That's just like fucking. What's the word I'm looking for here? Like going clean.
Oh.
Getting clear.
Going clear.
I don't know. Going clear. Like
Yeah, that's off the table.
Yeah, at least at this point in my life. Wait till I lose a foot to diabetes. And then
you'll consider it.
Then I'll consider it. See how the peg fits, and then I'll let you know.
Yeah. Right on.
But yeah, so I guess with that, should we mosey into?
Yeah, this is a Mike topic.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
This
like
week,
6 months
ago. Yeah, months ago. We had like an ongoing list of like stuff to talk about, and this was actually one of the first ones we wanted to look into.
You know what? I'm just like,
yeah.
Before we even get into it, I feel like we may have even just done this wrong. I think we should have sent one of the three of us, drawn straws.
Yeah.
Loser has to go join Scientology.
Yeah.
And report back.
It's not too late. Like, I'll go do that on Thursday. Like, I don't give a shit.
All right.
I know where the Scientology like building was in Toronto. It's at like Bloor and Young and Bloor. And I remember like being in that area all the time for work. And I'd always get people like, let's go across and get our fucking Dianetics. And they're just like, no, like, don't go in that building. Like, they'll track you down. Like, that's not a one-time enter. And I'm still like, let's go get e-readed or whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah. What do they call it? I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, it's
audited.
No, is it audited?
Yeah, when you get
I think that's when they're doing the, like, audit is like when you're already a member and you get like the therapy sessions. I think the first one's just the e-meter.
No, I think the auditing sessions is the e-meter stuff.
Okay, but they do them for free off the street to get you honey dicked.
Yeah, because that's how they do it, right? Yeah, they gotta fucking tell you about what's wrong with you.
Yeah,
through the e-meters, not that
the old spirits.
Not the old spirit. It just sounds like you fucking just tell them things about yourself and then they use it against you for the rest of your life.
They won't rat on everybody around you.
It's just like regular therapy.
Yes. Except for you're paying money for this too.
Yeah, you're paying money.
Yeah, you're paying a lot of money.
They tell you not to see your friends and family.
It's just called therapy.
There was the one dude that I saw. Like I watched that Going Clear. If you've ever seen it or haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty.
Put it on. I don't know why. I just slapped on everything and I didn't put it on this week. But I'm interested in hearing about that.
It was good. It was a nice 2-hour one. But like everybody talked about how it was like, oh yeah, like I donated like $250,000 to Scientology. Like you mean you paid for things? And it's like no, just donated it. Like. Just gave them money.
Yeah.
But then you also have to pay to advance, right? Like you take these courses and you have to study and it's like some
and it's like the superstars like Tom Cruise and Ben Affleck and just gonna lump in people that may or may not be Scientologists.
Lady
Gaga. Like, all the stars, like they're really high up and they get all the bennies. Versus the groundlings, we'll call them, at the bottom. You get nothing. Bullock. You like sleep in a fucking dorm and all that bullshit. So that's why they are paying to get like we want to get up a fucking level and get out of this, basement. Like there's like that Going Clear has a lot of those like groundling stories of like I'm married but my husband like got shipped off to the other, San Diego and I live in Florida and we don't see each other But there's like nothing. There's nothing they can do about it. It's just like nope. They decided they need him there. They have no choice.
Yeah.
And people deciding to leave the church or the cult rather, but they say the church and not being able to communicate with their family because they're of the basic guidelines of Scientology doesn't allow them.
To
communicate.
Yeah.
Disconnect.
You gotta disconnect from those people. Oh man, so wild.
Fucked. And I mean, one thing that kept coming up and listening to podcasts and reading this and that was like L. Ron Hubbard has wrote the most fiction out of anybody ever.
Yeah.
He has the Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it's like this one thing, like this is not fiction of all that fiction. This is the one thing.
Yeah.
Dianetic.
The one that sounds the most. Now, okay, I don't fucking know about the Dianetics nonsense. Like, basically, my understanding is that it's just like a low-level
self-help kind of thing.
Lie detector test.
Yeah.
So I don't think what they're measuring is like wrong. I think it's just what their interpretation of the measurement of electricity through the body was. Like it was so. They were saying that when there was a spike on these meters, it was you reliving a bad moment in your life.
Yeah,
they want you to talk about it, bring them out to the open, and clear yourself of that bad energy, which is no different than like therapy.
Yeah.
You know, going to see a psychiatrist. Like, it's weird. Like, L. Ron Hubbard hated psychiatry and therapists and like called them devils and like, you know, like
they were his direct competitor.
It was the exact same thing. He just had people hanging onto a machine to like back up what he was trying to say, right? Like, it was, I don't know, and people buy it.
Well, like, people that are like sad, it does feel good to talk about your shit.
Yeah.
And so this auditor, like, running the E-test, whatever the fuck it's called, like, there's an element to, like, psychic Sylvia Browne to that. Like, they're, like, asking you questions. They're reading you and seeing, like, oh, there's more to this. Like, that person kind of gave a dodgy answer. So they, like, press you, and then, oh, we, like, found this, like, trauma. I was bullied, and someone slapped me a bunch of times in the shower or whatever. Like, someone plopped a dick in my mouth when I went camping.
Yo, just for the record, you're spiking on this. You wanna talk about something? Like, getting beat up in the shower, the dick plopped in your mouth.
They hit on some, like, childhood trauma. So then when that session's over, the person that went in all, like, you know, butthurt on their life does feel better. And is like, wow, that person and their goddamn magic cones, like, really brought something out that I didn't want to talk about. Like, how could they like, it's magic. I'm going to come back next week and give you $12,000. I'm going to mortgage my house. I'll come live in the dorm. Like,
yeah, I'll come live in the hole.
It's called therapy. It's the same way therapy works, except for you're pushed into to like releasing this information. Like, they want you, and
it's all recorded and used against you. It's all recorded
and used against you. Exactly. So it's it's cult therapy.
Well, and not only that, but like total, like, we've talked about false confession Brandon Dassey on this show hundreds of times. He's almost like part of the crew.
He's a fourth member.
And
number 4.
Like, talk about false confessions where like these e-meter auditing sessions where like they get you to say everything about yourself, and then like they keep pressing you until you say something that has nothing to do with you, and they'll dig in just like, oh, well, this is actually like your thetan, like your soul from another life. Like, it's reincarnated, that you actually lived this. Tell me what you're seeing, to the point where they get you to make things up in your own head that they're telling you are real because they happened in a life before this one.
Yeah.
And you buy it. Like, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Well, yeah, it's a good tactic. They get you to believe that all this other shit is true, and then it's like, you know what? Just for the cherry on top, we're going to add all this other crap that has nothing to do with you, and just say it's a past life.
Memory's fucked like that, though. Like, there's so many stories where, like, I'll retell the story, and I have to, like, stop myself and, like, was I actually there, or have I just heard the story so many times that I can picture it clear as a bell? Like, memory just kind of works in that way. So it's totally possible to be like, I'm telling something, I don't remember this or that. Like, it's so vague, but I do remember. And then it's like, oh, yeah, because that's like, you know, that's an old memory. And then you just feel like you're so special. And like, oh my God, I contacted one of my thetans is blinking. Like, put me up a level in Scientology. Like, I had, you know, back contact or something. Like, I had a deep memory.
Just a deep memory in there.
Deep memories.
And yeah, it's fucking, like, someone just keeps telling you that shit's real. Like, I don't know. I would buy it. I'd take my wallet.
Yeah, I'm kind of like watching this. I'm into it.
The people who are on like the lower level, they're just idiots. They're doing the cult therapy. You know, they're spending $100,000 on this, you know, to advance in the cult, to go up levels and shit, learn some new information. But it's like the people who are like the high end people, especially like the celebrities, but like the people who are at that, there's like a whatever in California, like a base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gold and something.
Yeah.
That big blue
that
building.
It's scary. That's like a fucking mini militia.
Yeah.
Yep. They had like their own navy. Like
they're
oh
locked
man.
down in this compound. They don't have contact with the free world, no internet.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you got a liaison to take you everywhere. Like you can't go anywhere on your own. Fear that you might be exposed to like something that's against Scientology.
Cults are fucking sweet though. Like I want to be in a cult. Like,
do you?
Yeah, but that one.
Like on fucking Sunday, me and Skyler and like the roommate like went out to brunch, and like sitting across from us in the diner, there was definitely like a cult, and it was so cool.
Like this, they looked real happy.
They looked so happy. This guy looked like Zach Galifianakis from that like movie where he runs for office, like The Campaign. He's just like this like early 30s, but like super overweight, like full beard. He looked like the sweetest guy, like the nicest eyes. He sat on one side of the booth with like a little boy, and across from him was like full like 3 sister wives, like dresses down to their ankles, like all look like librarians. And they like
a big cult meeting.
I don't know what
they were,
but they clearly came from some type of church service. And it's like this dude, his 3 wives, and his ugly kid sit down for some waffles.
Kid. Yeah.
And nobody talked. It was this silent breakfast.
You wanted a 4th wife? Like, where do you fit into that?
I think it just looks like they're all like happy.
Maybe his first man, you know? Why do you have to be a wife?
Yeah.
Can't I just be a son?
It's such a bizarre thing that, like, yeah, we can rag on Scientology and all this, but like how off from just regular religion is it? Like not that far.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's not at all.
It's not that far, but the tactics they use when you're there.
That I don't feel like they're that far off.
Yeah, it's all manipulation and it's all guilt and.
I think so. Like in all honesty, like as much as I'm not the biggest fan of the organized religions, I do feel like the church. Like the Christian church does do some good within the community. Like they will, you know, like they have churches and will put on things that like cake fairs and stuff, you know, chili cook-offs.
Yeah.
Where they like are there to give back to the community, and that's where like the whole like they're a non-profit organization. Any money they make, they put back into like programs into the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, they touch kids.
Yeah.
But like this year's motto seems to be like who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
But the Scientology, there's none of that.
They are
a
sure.
profitable organization.
You don't think there's any diddlers?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's diddlers. Right. I'm talking about the giving back to the community. They don't put money. Yeah. The only money they're putting into the community is buying land for new churches.
There's no inner city boxing team or anything like that.
No, God no. There's no Jamaican bobsled team.
No.
I don't even know if that was like a Christian thing. I'm sure they don't do much.
They don't even hell of a franchise like Subway. You know, they're not even employing people.
No, you'd be like a slave to like work at that place. Like no one gets paid.
No.
What are talking about?
Subway or Scientology? Both slaves.
In that fucking compound, they have the golden whatever. It's like C something maybe, Golden Sea or I don't know. Anyways, that's fucking big compound.
Headquarters of the Sea Org.
That's it. Yeah. So they fucking pay people like either a monthly or weekly wage there, and it's pennies on the dollar.
Oh yeah,
it's like $6 a week or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Can be 6 to 40 cents an hour kind of thing, and they're doing like 14-hour, 12-hour days.
And that's where they get sketchy with like they separate like partners and shit because it's like we don't want people starting families when they have these grunt jobs. Like they're not. There's no like built in the religion like you're not allowed to procreate until you reach level this, but they like actively discourage like hey these 2 grunts, you know, mopping floors and cleaning toilets like are in love, like let's send him to Halifax, Nova Scotia, like let's
because if they have a kid. They're gonna want to take care of that kid, and they're not gonna want to scrub my toilet.
Yeah,
so
that can't be done.
Just don't have that kid. And like they would outright like tell people, encourage people to have abortions.
Oh yeah,
and to just not like procreate at all.
quote from L. Ron Hubbard about abortion, and it basically says that we don't care how it's conceived, whether it's shameful acts or not. Basically, he means rape, whether this person was raped and a baby was conceived. He's like, we don't care how it's conceived. It's like, we want you to get rid of
it. Yeah. And like ugliest man
by love or rape of a thief, it must be aborted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugliest man in the world award goes to
L. Ron. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Set of teeth Hubbard. On him. Yeah.
The mouth.
Yeah. It looked like a ripped in half pop can.
Yeah.
Maybe are they part of wood?
Have you seen the new It movie? Yeah. And there's a point where Pennywise at the end, it's just like the mouth that keeps opening and just there's folds in it that just open on their own like a fucking airplane wing or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking and heavy. Just those big I don't know. He almost looked like he was wearing a prosthetic face at one point.
Maybe.
It's I'd believe that. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a puppet.
Ooh. Maybe it was Xenu all along. There's at one point where he was in exile and just not cutting his hair and lost his way, I guess. And there's pictures of him and it's just oh God,
how long was he alive while Scientology was kicking off? Did he reap any of the benefits? Or did he die?
Probably the first.
Yeah, I think so. He died in 86.
Okay.
And I think it started for real in the 60s.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50s, 60s. Yeah.
But he went into exile because he was he wanted the church status.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to pay taxes on anything. But I don't think he was paying taxes at the time anyways.
Right.
So he took to the sea. He went out on a boat.
Which is brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'd say again. Brilliant. The man's not on trial for his bad ideas, okay? Fucking brilliant, man. You can't charge me in maritime law. I feel
like it's not even far. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong, experts, but I believe it's 7 nautical miles off the coast is international waters.
He was just in fucking the Mediterranean.
Exactly. Sea it's not far. You can.
That's not even the ocean.
No, you're just outside of the reach of the government.
Yeah, just going port to port,
7 miles out in the Mediterranean. You're go into any port you choose.
You can make up a religion.
Start a religion. 7 miles out.
He was definitely still writing shit and adding to the bridge of levels that you pay for up until he died. I saw that
and I guess they're still doing it now with who's in charge, that David Miscarriage or whatever.
David Miscarriage. I'm pretty sure that's what he was.
Pretty sure he's David Miscarriage.
Now I can't remember if they're adding new ones or not. I think it's more I think you're right that they're adding them and saying that it's L. Ron, but really it's we'll just every couple years.
We found this in the vault and it says
the
equivalent of the Dead Sea Scrolls is just a P.O. box in Arkansas.
Yeah. But
someone takes a thingy into the shore.
I saw that they made all of his original copies of his Scientology.
Yeah.
They turned them to got made steel plates of them made for printing presses, and they're hidden in this mountain. They're not hidden. It's just a big compound they have, and they're underground, and above it is a mountain or just even a field that they have carved the S logo of Scientology and the 2 triangles into the mountain, so you can see it from space, apparently, or that's the prevailing what they want to accomplish. So
gotta get India on that case.
Somebody can fly by and see it and be like, oh, that's where they are. It was it was nuts.
I love it.
Now, okay, we can all agree Scientology, kind of appealing, but total bullshit. It's all that backdoor stuff. If you I don't know, we didn't really have a ton of time to deep dive, but we all did our part. And you start digging into that backdoor shit, like RJ, you were saying, with John Travolta's son.
Yeah.
And then there's that David Miscarriage's wife.
Oh yeah,
missing as well.
No, she's dead.
Really, I didn't hear that.
Oh no.
And John Travolta himself, has been given this title of Kakan. They call it Kakan, and he is able to just murder people. Like, that's what that title means in Scientology, that he's allowed to just murder people, and they'll cover it up for him. People clean it up and cover it up.
I don't want to throw around murder accusations, but back to his mysterious son dying. Exactly, Mike, exactly. He could con that fucking kid, yeah. So, like,
from the back.
The, like, gist of it was, like, his son Jet is, like, 16.
Yeah.
Is full autistic and has seizures regularly. But in Scientology, they don't believe in mental illness, so they do not believe in autism. So this poor kid gets no treatment whatsoever and just has, like, 2 round-the-clock nannies that, like, take care of him, make sure he doesn't swallow his tongue. Those 2 nannies happen to be buff, hot dudes. And John Travolta has, you know, questionable, closeted sexuality. So there's like this like innuendo that
hair too.
There only needs to be 1 nanny, but there's 2 for another reason. Like, dad needs a nanny. So like New Year's Eve, like 2006, I think it was. Like, there's like 911 to the hotel in the Bahamas. Like, Jet's had a seizure and hit his head, and the like paramedics get there and they're like, clearly this boy has been dead for hours. Like, he's cold, the blood's dry on his nose and stuff, and it kind of looks like he got beat up. Like, he has a bunch of wounds on his head, and Travolta's like, oh, he hit his head on the wall and the toilet and the shower. Like, he, you know, janged himself down.
He just went around the hotel cracking his head off.
And then the paramedics are like, okay, like, how long ago did this happen? And he's like, it just happened. Like, give him CPR. And they're just like, sir? Like, he's already in rigor mortis. Like, he's been dead for so long.
Yeah.
And he's like, Travolta's like, I don't want him to go to the hospital. Like, let's just load him in my plane and fly him back to Florida. And the paramedics are like, you can't do that. Like, after you've already called us, we have to take him to the hospital. Like, it's like the chain of custody and all this. Like, he's dead. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to treat him. Like, he's already dead. So then Travolta's like, no. Like, I have Kakan status. Like, load him into my plane. And then the paramedics are like, okay, so we're going to, like, get this waiver. You have to sign it that, like, explains, like, you're the guardian and you've waived all, like, medical response. Like, we're basically going to say on this waiver that the kid's still alive and that we all agree that he doesn't need medical treatment, and that's the only way that, like, you can take him from us and put him on the plane. So, like, Travolta signs it. He's like, yep.
He paid the money. He had to have paid.
Well, that's where it gets a little dicey after that. Because then, like, the full testimony is, like, the paramedics, like, looked at each other and were like, dude, we're going to retire. Like, we got this. Yeah, we got this now. And then what happened was they couldn't take the back seats out of the plane, so there was no room to get the stretcher into the airplane. So then Travolta's like, fuck it, take him to the hospital. So they took him to the hospital and just immediately cremated the body before any autopsy or anything was done. Wow. And then the paramedics, like, because they already had the signed waiver, and we're like, Mr. Travolta, like, Kakan status doesn't fly with these paramedics in the Bahamas. Like, we're going to need $50 million each. Because we have your waiver that says we all agree that this kid's still alive, wink, wink. He doesn't need to go to the hospital. So even though he went to the hospital, like, that changed. Like, originally you were just, like, taking him home.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm pretty sure they all got paid off to shut up about it, but...
Oh, you think? Yeah, sure.
And then, his fucking wife is, like, 47 at the time, and then within 6 months she was pregnant again and had another baby.
Wow. Jesus.
And it's like, there's no fucking way she had a baby at 47. Like, they just took that from one of the groundlings. That was, like, someone else in the Scientology, like, just replacing a baby. No, you cannot have a baby at 47. There's no way.
You can have a baby at 47. It's probably going to come out like Jet, though. That's maybe probably
it's going to come out with your uterus.
It's going to come back with a uterus sweater on.
Exactly. A little bow tie.
It's got a little toque. Oh, those are ovaries.
Toque on.
Yeah.
That's the
but yeah, like,
uterus.
For sure, either what happened was Travolta was banging both nannies and no one was watching this kid die alone on the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
Theory 1. Or theory 2, like they got in an argument or something and he beat him up and the kid died.
And the nannies were fucking each other.
Nannies were just, doing their own thing. And there's like a photo, if you like Google like John Travolta nanny kiss, like there's a photo of him like mouth kissing this nanny like on an airplane. Like it's so funny.
That's great.
It's so funny.
You think his pecan status would get that erased from
you would
the internet?
think.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, is homosexuality not allowed in Scientology? Like, I don't know why he's still in the closet about that. Like, there's no shame. It's hilarious to me that he's like still hiding it.
I don't think they have a stance on it. I try.
Because they say the same thing about Tom Cruise too, that he's also like secret gay, and they just like keep giving him arranged marriages to like keep up the appearance.
But see, I like in that Getting Clear one, they talked about like it's more like the opposite, where like they split up him and Nicole Kidman because Nicole Kidman was like her father was a therapist.
Oh, really?
And and so it was like she is like we're not going to change this woman's opinion at all.
We won't get it.
And like that fucking Miscarriage guy was pissed because Nicole Kidman and Tom made that Eyes Wide Shut movie with Kubrick, and they filmed it in far away. I want to say Australia or something.
Okay.
And Tom didn't talk to Miscarriage. And Miscarriage got super pissed and then like made it his like own like personal vendetta, like sent his best auditor after Tom and Tom's kids and basically like incepted them into thinking that she was a suppressive person, I think is what they called it. An SP. And then and basically like told the kids like, you want to be with your dad too, like you don't want to be with a suppressive person, because they were obviously in on the whole Scientology thing, right? And so it just sounds like they railroaded his marriage so he could be the then poster boy, because then he kind of like, I don't want to say that he took off, because he was always kind of like a big star,
he was,
but it was more, I think he embraced his Scientology, which made him interesting, because it was like, what is this guy doing, him and Katie Holmes were fresh on the stove. I don't know.
I know think people didn't really. I from what I gather, people didn't really understand Scientology until within the last 10 years.
Yeah, it was very secret. Yeah.
Well, it still is. Yeah, of course, but
and even like in the Going Clear one, they even talk about how it's like it's not till like OT3, which is actually like one of the levels that got added on like later in it all, and it's like super high up, is like that is when you finally learn the creation story of Scientology, which is like this fantastical story about other planets and like volcanoes and atom bombs and hydrogen bombs and shit, right? Like it's what's the movie that John Travolta was in where they didn't even have to put makeup on him?
Battlefield Earth.
That's the one.
Earth, Which is L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Travolta plays General Xenu, who is
he directed it too. That was all Travolta. Yeah.
So wow.
He's so ugly. He's so ugly. You see that picture I put in our chat?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Like you don't even have to zoom in on that guy's face to just be grossed out. But if you zoom in like 10 times, just do one flick, it's like, what is that? Like, it doesn't look real. He looks
that's
like a wax
with L. Ron Hubbard. It's a weird, like the lips don't look real on these people. Like you can grab them and rip them off like it's House of Wax. You know what I mean? Just like
totally, they look like wax versions of themselves.
But like runner up for ugliest person in the world next to L. Ron Hubbard is John Travolta.
And
And probably third is Forrest Whitaker, also in Battlefield Earth with his wonk eye.
Is Forrest Whitaker's eye also Scientology?
I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's where I think Elrond saw the twinkle in his eye. It was like, I got an idea.
Like, I know it's just a movie and it's not real, but when Travolta did that Gotti movie last year, and it was like everyone thought it was the worst movie of all time. Like, I would just go to like the Gotti trailer and then read the YouTube comments, and every comment was just like shit talking Travolta's hair and his wig, and it was so funny. I was just like, this should be the movie. Just scrolling this Facebook feed, like I know it's a movie and that was like a wig for Gotti, but it was just like a nonstop ending of just like shitting all over his hairline. His hairline moves around more than his hips. Like it was so funny. Like it just like pick a longitude and stick with it, John. Like it was so good. No.
There were some funny comments on a video I watched, Scientology video, and it said, "I wish David's mom had a miscarriage." Like whatever, however you say his real last name.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I think you're right with miscarriage. That's the best way to put it. But yeah, I mean the whole space opera thing. It's like
there's some controversy.
And like I'm saying though, like you don't find out about this space odyssey until you've already invested like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's just like could you imagine being at that point? Like you are so dick deep in this cult that when you find out what like the start of it is, you're just like, it's like, you know, buying a money pit house and being like, you know, everything you try to fix is just keeps getting worse and worse, and then it's like, all right, well, this is my life now.
Yeah. And then you go up in the attic and it's full of bones, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. And there's still more. Yeah, like
Jet
that's
Travolta's
only OT3.
bones.
John Travolta's son's bones.
I think that's what got Leah Remini. I think that was the start of it. Like there was like she talks about it. Like I couldn't really watch her show. Like I didn't want to pay to download it.
Yeah.
And she's a little annoying. But like I did watch a podcast with her, the Joe Rogan one, which was really interesting. But she talks about like, you know, there's some like gossipy kind of interpersonal things that played a role, but it was when she got to that OT3 and found out all this bullshit about the creation story. She was just like I guess her mom was in the ceremony thing. Like her mom's like an OT8, let's say, and she came with her because she wanted to see like, you know, the joy on her face, and she wanted to participate in this great thing with her daughter. And when they were telling her to like take these in the other room, read the thing, it's going to tell you this and that, she was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is fucking mental. Her mom's like, isn't it great? Isn't it great? And she's like, no, it's not great. What is going on?
This movie came out in 1997.
Yeah.
This horrible movie.
No, and even like one of the guys I saw was like, he read it and was convinced it was actually like a test of, is this
like faith or whatever?
No, right. It's like, I think I'm just supposed to buy into this as a like I'm gonna say yes as a to let them know how loyal you are, and then they were gonna tell me afterwards that it was all fake.
Yeah.
Right, oh, you pass because like you'll believe anything they'll say, kind of thing. Like a very godly test, I guess you could call it. Right.
In a way, it is though. Like you get that far and you're still on the path. Like you're getting Kakan status.
Yeah. How close am I to being able to kill people?
My own kid.
See, but even the John Travolta thing, like in the Going Clear, they kind of like referred to him as almost like a hostage to Scientology.
Well, he had his kid killed.
Yeah, but
his audit's dark.
Okay, but hold on. Here, like even they talked to his personal like Scientologist liaison, who had left the church. And they don't really say what it was, what had happened that she kind of fell out. She got classified as a like suppressive person and had to go through the rehabilitation training.
Yeah.
That they make you do, which is basically they just torture you. But she never talked about what the incident was that got her to be that. And it basically, she said that it was one of her clients' children were not looked after properly, and she wasn't a fan about it.
Dude, there's some shady shit about John Travolta molesting
But they don't ever say that it was John Travolta who she worked. Like, they said that she worked for John, but she never said that it was John's kid that this thing happened to.
Yeah.
But basically, her stance on it was that because of those, when you get audited and you tell these people all the like deepest, darkest shit that you fucking have ever stored up in your life and done, that when you try to leave, they just blackmail you. And it's John Travolta being this like mega star, you know, you'll be able to pick his face out of anything.
Ugly ruin his life.
Like they would just ruin his life, and he was kind of stuck. Now this is also like maybe they're just trying to her put in sympathy. Maybe there's lots of different angles to it, right? Who knows? But I think that is very, very plausible. Like, you tell these people all your secrets, and then you try to leave, and they're like, well, we're going to have to tell your dad that you did this. Like, remember when you robbed those people? Like, we're going to tell everybody about it, and you're an actor. Like, a lot of them, like you're saying, it's all the money grade shit that, like, if you have the money to pay for it, you can move your way up. So it's like a lot of these people are, like, high society, get me out of the trenches.
Yeah, with a lot to lose.
Lots to lose.
But I feel like of any time, like, this is the era to live, to, like, get your side out. In the old days, in the 90s for sure, you could just, like, hold them down with a threat of blackmail. But, like, if John really wanted to get out of it, like, I think he could do an Oprah tell-all and be like, I feel horrible, but I was like having sex with the nanny and the kid died and we didn't know until like a couple hours later, and the church helped me cover it up, and then they held that over my head for the last 15 years. And like I've been guilty as shit like all this time, and I feel horrible, and I just want to tell everyone so I can like move on and help this not happen again. Like, this is the time to do that kind of thing.
But also, he only has to tell half his shoes. What's the benefit of you doing that at this point?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, there's none.
There's no benefit for him at all. No, he's like, other people might detour you, but like, there's no reason for him to do that. He got away with it, and he got a new kid.
He got a new kid right away.
Apparently, they make your life like when you're that status, and you're Khan or whatever fucking Top Gun is, whatever fucking Tom Cruise.
He's Cruise status. That's his
Maverick.
That's his given name.
He's Maverick.
He's Maverick.
You get Maverick in that,
Apparently, they make your life just like a fucking dream. Like, they have all these people waiting on you, and you don't have to worry about anything. And sure, you can't talk to any normies, but like, you know, everything's taken care of.
That's a big part of the Going Clear documentary, Mike. You'll fucking love it. Like, they just, suck from Cruise's ass, like, this whole time. It's like his birthday party, and he shows up, and there's, like, thousands of people there, and they're, like, playing a band's playing, and he just waltzes on stage and grabs a microphone and starts singing, and everyone's losing their shit like he's a Beatle. But it's all just, like, bullshit. Like, everyone's like, this was the lamest thing we had to do.
Everyone that he's surrounded by is getting paid fucking 40 cents an hour to be there, and, like, get told beforehand, like, you are having a good time. I don't want to see you sulking. Like, have a smile. If you see Tom, make him feel like he's a maverick. You know? Give him a suck and a squeeze. Like,
when he just waltzes on stage and takes the mic out of the hand of the girl singing and starts singing the song, like, do not bat an eye. Scream louder than before.
But I mean, you even hear like stories like him in like those Mission Impossible movies. He does all his own stunts, and it's like, is it the same Scientology people? Just like, sure, give him a helicopter. Like, let's see, you know, he can do it. Like, we'll pay for it.
That's the part. Like, when he's on set, all of his like, you know, understudies and all the people, they're all Scientology people. The people that are waiting on him, hand and foot. Whether he's at work, at home, you know, being a Beatle, like there's just people all around him at all times, just waiting on him.
Yeah,
like it sounds like if you're a celebrity and you're used to that treatment, it's like, well, fuck, why would I want anything else?
Yeah, why would you even question it? He's never used the internet before, but he doesn't ever need to. It's like, what's the weather? And like 9 people answer you right away.
Yeah.
Call Katie Holmes. I want to get back with her.
It's very North Korean. is like the more we talk about it, just the like, and if you show any kind of like disinterest, they just I don't think they're so much into the killing in Scientology, but they will just like torture the fuck out of you. I'm sure there are killings, but like North Korea kills like generations of people's families for like not growing the right corn. You know what I mean? Like,
totally. Yeah.
So I could definitely see Scientology making like Miscarriage's wife go away if they want, or like John Travolta's kid go away.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know a ton about that, but I guess she was like last seen in 2017. And
it was before that, I think.
Or
like 2012.
Yeah,
it's been
maybe
a few
it was.
years.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
Yeah. It's like they haven't. She hasn't been seen by anybody. Even in Scientology.
Yeah.
You know. Since let's say 2012.
And they just say like she's on a retreat in Salt Lake City or something like.
Yeah. And like
okay.
like those people will like have to go through those programs like you guys were talking about earlier, like with the rehabilitation. So like to a point, like maybe the first year, it's like, oh, she's at the retreat, she's doing her rehabilitation.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Like so 6 more years, 5 more years have gone since then. Where the fuck is she? Like and my thought is like, couldn't they just like do a Michael Jackson and like throw a blanket on?
Are you talking about his son or?
Well, no, on his wife, like his son. Yeah, chuck a blanket on fucking some random chick and be like, "This is fucking, Stacey Miscarriage."
Yeah. Hang her out of a fucking balcony or something.
Or
totally dangle over a balcony with a blanket on her head.
Home Alone style. Just put a cardboard standout on a train and just run it around the house so you see a shadow moving.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Fucking Weekend at Bernie's.
Coming back.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit they could have done to like limit the questioning, but instead they just they don't address
double down. She's still in Salt Lake City. There's a lot to do there. Stop asking.
Well, I feel like even like L. Ron Hubbard and this Miscarriage dude both like in the same, where it's like when you just constantly fucking lie to everybody, like it seems like they just like develop a paranoia, and like paranoid schizophrenic. How can you trust anyone when all you've been doing is lying to thousands of people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you would ever be able to live like that. Like, at points, Elron was in a van driving up and down America, just in exile. Like, he had 2 other people that would do all the checking into hotels for him and any kind of stuff they had to, but he wouldn't leave the RV until everything, put the blanket on him. Yeah, I get that, but it's not like if you go into a store, you're going to get fucking arrested for tax evasion, right? Like,
no one knows what that guy looks like back there.
And you're still trying to, like, write chapters of your religion, Like, ugh.
Yeah. Crazy. Fucking crazy.
Ridiculous.
Now, what if, so, like, David Miscarriage, most powerful man in Scientology, right? Yeah. His wife has got to she's, let's just say number 2, because she's there. She's dealing with it all, assumably.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's the second chosen one. What if they just got her fucking, like, locked up in a room as a baby machine? Just pumping out Travolta babies, fucking pumping out, who knows? Like, is she a hostage right now? Is she alive right now? I'm stuck on that. Like, where the fuck is this woman?
Oh, she's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
She is dead. Sure. I don't give them that much. Or she's like, they do torture people, like waterboard people. Like maybe they just have her in a fucking shitty camp, like making her work.
There's such
or
like shame
or being a baby maker.
Yeah,
they could probably strip her identity and just throw her amongst the masses, and no one would believe her. She'd just be a crazy woman, right? Like he's like, I'm done with this one, and fucking, they just strip her identity within the Scientology community.
Yeah,
because there's stories of people in that big compound that actually had to like flee and escape. Like they're not free to leave on their own. They can't go anywhere without a liaison. They can't just leave Scientology once you're like at that level and in that camp. Like you're there forever until they say you do. So maybe she's just like stuck in one of these fucking camps.
Like my first guess is she got Caconned by Travolta.
Oh yeah,
she's dead. But then the other like
for Scientology.
Yeah, the second backup is like because they have such a like we don't believe in mental illness or anything. Like maybe she's started to lose it in her old age, and there's like so much shame in that. Like you can't show her with like Alzheimer's or anything like that. Like we gotta put her in a room.
Very true. Or kill her.
Or Cacon her off.
Give her
Jet Travolta status.
I'm sure fucking Miscarriage has Cacon status too. Like why does John the only one that gets it?
Because he made the movie with no makeup.
Like
no makeup, yeah. But I feel like Tom Cruise has probably got some fucking Cacon status too, though, right? Like
everybody above Travolta has Cacon status.
Yeah, he's the last one to get it.
He's the last Cacon.
They were very reluctant to give it to him.
They fucked up right away.
Come on, give me Cacon status. Come on. I got Cacon playing it.
John, we can't keep killing your kids and giving you new ones.
Oh my god, it's the first one. Oh my god.
Dude, do you remember when we walked into town from your cottage and we saw we were so fucking stoned and we saw those cows and we were just making John Travolta voices at these cows for like 10 minutes of the walk.
Oh, the cows were like long gone and we were still just doing John Travolta voices. Yeah, that was a dirty day. Oh, fuck. But, like, it's weird, like, John Travolta, I get it back in, like, Saturday Night Fever and, like, Carrie, he was, like, a babe, like, but for having, like, zero plastic surgery that I know of, that man, like, he looks like, remember that show, The Critters, the movie? Critters,
yeah.
He's kind of got, like, one of those mouths, too, that just, like, too long for his own jowls.
You can fit a few, male nurses in his mouth, if you know what I mean.
Oh, and like, oh, fuck, like, the Leprechaun? He kind of looks like Leprechaun.
And you say, like, someone that hasn't had any surgery, I say the 100% opposite. Like, that's why he looks like that.
You think so?
I think those are just, like, every year he gets his jowls, like, pulled back, and that's why he has a leprechaun smile.
Got his mouth widened.
Yeah, they're just, like, keep pulling the skin back so that his smile starts at his ears.
And, like, I don't know what they make, like, if you were to say, like, if you were in a movie, special effects, and they make, like, masks to make it look like skin, and, you can kind of tell that they just look like they're made of, they don't look like skin, but close enough.
Face, yeah.
Yeah, that's what John Travolta and L. Ron Hubbard have going on with their face. Like, it just looks like you could pull it off and wear it, and then you'd see their real face. And they're the same person.
Maybe they got like a resident surgeon. He does everyone's bad surgeries.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they got one Scientology surgeon. Or
just like a real, what's that, like, makeup artist that died recently? The FX guy. Did, like, Freddy Krueger and shit.
No idea.
No? Tom Savino?
He died?
I think he's dead.
Tom Savini's dead? I didn't know that.
He could be. He looked pretty dead fucking...
We can pass that rumor around, sure.
Yeah. Dead or in Scientology.
He's probably a Scientologist. Like, while this conversation started, I just Googled, like, famous Scientologists, and there's some surprising names on this list.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
What's her name? That Kate Moss girl from Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Like, she just won the Emmy for Best Actress. Yeah. And she's a Scientologist. She actually got up and, like, walked out of the Emmys because I think it was Going Clear got nominated. Some movie. Yeah. Or it was Leah Ramey's show was also nominated and won. Right. And she got up and walked out in protest.
Well, that's what you get.
She has, like, actress status now of, like...
Snob status.
Yeah, I won my Emmy.
Bitchy face cunt status.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm sure Luke Perry was one too.
Oh yeah,
I think he got conned.
It explains why he died at such a young age.
Luke Perry from 90210. Dylan.
Oh, I have no idea.
8 seconds.
He was laying for us in 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Great flick.
Come on. Have you even lived?
Apparently not. No. I'm working up to that Cacon though.
He got conned.
Yeah. You know, if I thought there was a real chance that I could get to Kakan status, I'd do Scientology for 5 years.
Yeah, just for that, I'll pay $500,000 for Kakan status.
Yeah, if there was a good chance, but like they'd have to tell you that right out, flat out.
Like I
feel like with John's problem, like he got Kakan status, but then still just was like, oh well, I'll call the ambulance and everything will be okay. Yeah. And then they showed up and they're just like, what's a Kakan? Like, what are you talking about?
This kid has been dead for hours.
Yeah,
stop kissing that man and talk to me.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Stop kissing that guy. Hold on.
He was at like the Oscars too not too long ago and was like rubbing his like, you know, like he was like giving an award out with like a woman. I don't know who it was, but it was like when it was done, it was this weird like, John, just because you're like both presenting together doesn't mean you now own her for the 30 seconds you're on stage.
I remember that. He had his arm around her the whole time. He's like rubbing her back and shoulders.
Yeah. And he was like, just looked like he was drunk and just like, yeah, I'm John Travolta. I'm the Kakan.
I'm Kakaning you right
now. Dude,
now.
that means nothing outside of the walls of Scientology. You have no status.
He doesn't live outside those walls. He doesn't know any better.
No.
It's like they're untouchable. I would imagine that's how you'd feel. They don't really exist in a world outside Scientology.
That's why it's awesome, and I want to be in it.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to be a big fish in a little pond? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kakan in a little pond.
Kakan, the neighboring pond. All right, boys. I think we should wrap this guy up. Is there any...
Has it been an hour?
It's been an hour. I think we've exhausted our Kakan status accusations.
Yeah. I feel like there's more controversy here. Maybe we can do a round two on Scientology.
Definitely do a round two. We dig into more awesome stories because it seems like there's a lot, but it also like seems like it's no different than any other religion. Like if we just did like random Baptist church down the street, I'm sure there's some juicy stories about Kakans and killing kids and getting new kids the same year. It's just regular church shit.
It just happens to be more celebrities getting made into wax and
not only
killing
that,
people.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's like no different than like, when Christianity first started getting started and like there would be famous people from those times that would like get involved in it, right? It's just like we're living the birth of this religion, and for some reason there's a lot of celebrities that seem to flock to it, which makes it a little bit more high profile, I guess.
Well, I think they cater to them, right? Like it's clear that they cater to celebrities. Like it's
and they're rich,
written,
right?
And they're rich, so they can support the cult.
Yeah,
and all their property acquisition.
Even just like again, I kind of touched on it earlier with like the money situation, but like I know that like they basically eventually got the church religion status, so they didn't have to pay taxes as long as they were like a legit non-profit organization. But this show just that I watched took the profits made from like the 3 biggest churches in Scientology, and they had something stupid like $72 million between the 3 of them. And basically it was like they started to get sued by people that had left the church early on, and like they paid out a settlement at one point of like $30 million. So they started to ask their like supporters like, hey, like give us money so when if we get hit with another lawsuit, like we'll have it, kind of thing. And so this is like their weird loophole in these. It's like a non-profit because they have all this money, but it's supposed to be for like pending lawsuits that they can pay people off with. But when it's like over $100 million, it's like, okay, like this is a profit that you are now making in hopes that you don't get sued again. And they have those, like Mike was saying, where people become fair game. They refer to it as like if you talk out against the Scientology church, they kind of come after you. It's fair game. Like if you're gonna shit on us, we're gonna shit on you, right? And they don't get sued anymore because they fucking just send their con after people.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about turning the corner in the dark and seeing John Travolta's face everywhere you go.
Oh my god, the boogeyman.
You're keeping your mouth.
Like we don't, like, me and RJ are idiots for having our faces on this episode. I feel like we gotta go to South Park and just fake name it.
Mike pulled the right card by pretending his computer wasn't working. Good God. But anyway, let's wrap this up. If we have to circle back for another episode, if we over the next 2 days think of more fucking shit to dig up, we'll do it again.
Oh, there's content here for sure.
But until next week, thank you Frontline Fiesta for your awesome intro and outro. Subscribe and like and share and tell people on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.
Yeah, and send nudes.
Send nudes, questions. We'll answer more questions and all that kind of fun stuff on the next episode. Until then, peace. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
God.
That's the sound he makes, when he's killing people.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. We are Pretty Much Experts. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. While you're at it, go have a look at our Facebook page. You can ask an expert any time of day or night, whatever you like. And if you're into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you, baby. Thanks again, everybody. Tune in next week. We are Pretty Much Experts, and we love you, I guess.